want none! You don't want none!
What's going on, Tar Heel Nation? It is your favorite North Carolinian, Ross the Tar Heel. And in this huddle, baby, we're going to talk about the North Carolina Tar Heels visiting Winston-Salem to take on the Wake Forest Demon Deacons on January 21st at 9 p.m. on ESPN. Now, first and foremost, you already know I got to give a shout out to the insiders, the Huddle Hooligans, man. I appreciate you guys. And if you are interested in supporting this channel and joining this group of merry men, there should be a join button down there on the bottom, dude. And it's literally $4.99 a month, less than a price of a Starbucks coffee, dude. And you get access to the Huddle Hooligan Discord where the real talking actually transpires, man. And we're currently 13 hooligans deep right now, but you already know, like Bill Belichick, we're always looking to add to the gang, man. Steadily recruiting. Live reaction and watch party on the 21st at 9 p.m. Come hang out with your boys. We see if the Hills can bounce back from a tough home loss to the Cardinal, man. And we'll start things off by looking at the updated ACC standings. And we can see that the Puke Blue Devils are at the top at 8-0, followed by Louisville and Clemson at 7-1. Wake, our opponent, is 6-1. And Carolina and SMU are at 5-2. Carolina obviously has that tiebreaker. And then you can see the rest of the ACC standings right there. ACC games on Tuesday include Boston College of Virginia, Louisville at SMU, which kind of has some ramifications. And, of course, our game, North Carolina at Wake Forest, man. So let's go ahead and jump headfirst into this thing. The Heels' 4-game winning streak came to a screeching halt last Saturday as Carolina dropped a home game to Stanford 72-71. Carolina was unable to get over the rough night from Ian Jackson, and Reno and Blake's were just too much on that given night. Now, Carolina's led by head coach Hubert Davis, who's 90-38 in his 4th season at the University of North Carolina, which is good for a .703 win percentage. Carolina's leading scorer is a 6', 180-pound senior guard, R.J. Davis, who is averaging 17.3 points per game, 4 assists, and 3 rebounds while shooting 38.1% from the field and 28.8% from 3. The leading rebounder for the Hills is a 6'10", 235-pound junior forward, Jalen Washington, who's averaging 5.1 rebounds per game and 6.3 points. He's shooting 56.2% from the field. And their leading facilitator is a 6'1", 180-pound sophomore point guard, Elliot Cadeau, who is averaging 5.8 assists to 3 turnovers per game. He's also averaging 10.4 points and 3.1 rebounds per game as well. Now, the Deacs are coming off of a 72-63 win at Virginia Tech, where Hunter Salas scored 24 points and Cameron Hildreth added 21 himself. And the Deacs are currently on a 5-game winning streak. Now, the Deacs are led by head coach Steve Forbes, who has an 83-58 record at Wake Forest, which is good for a .589 win percentage. Their leading scorer is the aforementioned 6'5", 185-pound Hunter Salas, who is a senior, and he's averaging 19.5 points per game, 4.2 rebounds, and 2.9 assists. He's shooting 48.3% from the field and 31.6% from 3. The Deacs' leading rebounder is a 6'7", 215-pound senior forward, Trayvon Spillers, who's averaging 8.8 boards per game to go along with 10.3 points. And their leading assist man is a 6'4", 195-pound senior guard, Cameron Hildreth, who's averaging 3.7 assists to 2.1 turnovers. And he's additionally adding 13.9 points per game and 4.1 rebounds. North Carolina is averaging 82.3 points per contest and giving up 75.8. Wake Forest is averaging 70.9 points per game and giving up 65.7. Now, the Heels are averaging more rebounds and assists, the Deacs are averaging more blocks and steals per game. So, now that we've taken a look at the individual and the team statistics, man, let's get into Russ's 3 keys to a Tar Heel victory. And key number 1, bro, is take the air out of the crowd. This is especially important for Wake Forest and their fan base. This game, that is. Carolina needs to start by firing on all cylinders from the jump, and they need to take some air out of that building. You already know that the Deacs are riding a high right now, and Carolina is down. There's no other way to put it. You can't play from behind in this game, boys. Got us thinking, take the air out of that building from the jump. Key number 2, hunt for Hunter. Listen, Hunter Salas is an absolute assassin. And if the Heels want to get out of Winston-Salem with any chance at beating the Deacs, they have got to find Hunter Salas and stay on that kid's daggum hip, dude. This is another assignment that I'm giving to Drake Powell. And I'm telling him to be an absolute pest. The difference between this game and the Stanford game is Carolina's ability to match up against the Deacons' best player. Stanford had the big 7-1 guy. Not a good matchup for us. Drake Powell on Hunter Salas. Let's see what the kid can do, man. Just some food for thought. So key number 2 to a Tar Heel victory, you got to stay on Hunter Salas's hip, and you got to limit him as much as possible. And key number 3, you can't have one without the other. And what I'm talking about here is we saw firsthand what can transpire if either RJ or Ian Jackson have an off night. All right, we're extra susceptible to defeat. Carolina needs decent games, man, from both RJ and Captain Jack if they're going to consistently be competitive against the better teams in the conference. RJ and Ian have to hoop, or this is a even tougher game than we already have been saying that it's going to be, man. And that's going to bring us to the prediction portion of the show. And as always, we'll start off with the ESPN matchup indicator, which currently has the Heels as a 61% chance at beating the Deacs, man. But, you know, you take that with a grain of salt. They had Carolina as a 90% chance of beating the Cardinals. So this is going to be a tough one, Tar Heel Nation. Wake Forest is an older team. They're on a 5-game winning streak. They're playing in front of their home crowd. And they can smell a wounded animal, if you know what I mean, man. Carolina is more than capable of getting this win. That's not debatable. But my confidence level is absolutely shot, dude. I always pick these scores as if I had some kind of money at stake, which I don't, right? But I try as hard as I can to put my fan head aside. So here it is. I got Carolina 74 and the Wake Forest Demon Deacons 80. And I take no solace in making that prediction, man. The only thing I think that could possibly Carolina saving grace in this one is the fact that, you know, quite possibly there's just more pressure on Wake Forest right now because Carolina's down. Wake Forest is trending up, and they probably feel like this is the time to get the heel. So maybe they'll stub their toe, man. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, Tar Heel Nation. But I got a Wake Forest 80, Carolina 74, which would drop us to 5-3 in the conference, man, and 12-8 overall. I hope I'm wrong, but you let me know what you think about my score prediction and this basketball game down in the comment section, Tar Heel and Demon Deacon Nation. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. No matter what, baby, it is always a great day to be a Tar Heel, and we'll catch you for the watch party on Tuesday, baby. Go Heels.